Hey guys, this is Stel Yafty with Close.io. Today I want to talk about how to fire a customer. So this morning there was an email in my inbox and it was part of an email thread to the Y Combinator startup email list. One of the founders there asked, hey guys, we have to fire one of our earliest B2B customers. How should we go about this? And they explained, and they went on to explain that they had closed this customer really early on in the company's history. The customer gave them a lot of money, a lot of revenue. That customer needed a lot of hand-holding and consultation, a lot of customizable work, and it helped them in the early days validate some of their ideas, generate revenue, get some credibility. But at this point, this relationship isn't working anymore. The customer has more and more demands that are totally pulling them in a different direction. And they, as well as their investors and everybody around them, have agreed that they really need to break up with that customer to be able to focus on building their product in a more scalable fashion. So the problem was that they were afraid to fire their customer. Obviously, this is kind of a sensitive matter. So they asked, does anybody have experience in this, and how should we go about firing a B2B customer? Here's what I said. There's basically two options. Option number one is you create a situation where they fire you. And I'm not talking about doing shitty work or creating bugs in your code or just acting really ridiculously. What I'm talking about is typically the easiest leverage that you can set for them to want to fire you or cancel the relationship with you is to increase prices dramatically. And this is a non-confrontational approach, may or may not make sense sometimes, but the way you would go about it is that you would talk to them and say, hey, listen, our business model has changed. We cannot service you successfully anymore at the current price point. The economics make no sense for us anymore. So we are forced to increase prices. The price is going to be, insert ridiculous amount, way higher than what they're paying right now. I would totally understand if you guys are, not willing to go along with this. And if you decide that you don't want to pay this new price to be able to keep using our product or service, we're going to help you transition off in the most successful way. We're going to give you plenty of time. We're going to do everything in our power to help you move over in a smooth way. But this is what it is. This is new price. I wanted to be really upfront and transparent and proactive about it and tell you so guys have a chance to make decisions and move if you want to move forward with it or not. Now, the price should be so ridiculously high that if they say yes, it actually now makes sense for you to service them, right? And sometimes there is no number that makes sense because it's just totally defocusing your business. But sometimes it's just that at the current price point, it makes no sense. But if they paid 5 times the amount, it would, realign your priorities and actually make this a worthwhile endeavor. So set a price that's really ridiculous. Tell them, hey, this is the new price. This is not a negotiation. I know that this is kind of a shocker. That's why I wanted to be proactive about it. Give you guys enough time to discuss this, decide internally what you want to do, and we'll help you move on. That's option number one. Option number two is just be upfront and honest to them. Pick up the phone, talk to them, and tell them basically that this relationship doesn't make sense anymore and doesn't make both parties successful. Tell them that your business model has changed, your focus as a business has changed, and if you continue to service them as customers, you're going to suffer. You're not going to have the ability to raise more money. You're not going to have the ability to grow as a business. And ultimately, you're going to be forced out of business. So you need to be proactive, honest, transparent about it, and bring it up immediately to let them know this relationship needs to service and make both parties successful. And since it's not anymore, we need to find a way to part ways in the best way possible, right? In a way that's going to make it as least painful to both parties as possible. Just be super honest and transparent about it. Just tell them, we need to break up. Let's find a way to do it in a way that's as least painful and keeps you guys on track. Now, a lot of one of the most crucial things that you guys need to do is you need to offer them as much help and support and consulting and offboarding energy as possible. You need to make sure that you go beyond your means and your way to help them transition off your solution and product in the smoothest way possible. Give them enough time. Give them help, support, consultation on their decision making. Like, should they go with a competitor of yours? Should they build an internal solution? What should they do next? How should they react to this challenge of you firing them? And then just support them as much as humanly possible. Drive to their office, spend a whole day, a whole week helping them, transitioning to the next thing. Go beyond your means and beyond what's reasonably expected of you to show them that you really deeply care, and to make sure that this is not turning into a big conflict or something where somebody's going to be super unhappy and creates like a bad rep for your reputation, your business, and your brand. But you actually use this as an opportunity to show that you're trustworthy, that you're working beyond what people could expect, and that you're there for them to make them successful. People will really respect you, and people will talk really highly of you if you do that, especially in situations that are difficult, right? It's easy to be great and awesome to people when things are easy and successful. But when things break up, when things are difficult, that's where you can show your real character and build a brand. So the next thing is you need to make sure that you actually do it yourself. What I mean by that is, don't let an account manager or support staff or anybody that's more junior within the organization call a customer to cancel or fire them. That's too critical of a task to delegate it down because it inconveniences you, or you're too important to do that. Fuck no. If you're the CEO and you were involved in that deal, you call. If somebody's a VP of sales and if you guys are a large organization, the VP of sales calls. But somebody does it that has real authority. Ideally, in the early days, you as the founder and CEO. And if you can, actually meet them in person to break up with them, right? Sit there, look them in the eye and tell them the bad news and stand up for it. If you can't meet them because geographically they're like heading another country or another coast, pick up the phone and tell them. Don't email them that shit. Don't hide behind an email. Don't hide behind asynchronous communication. No, you have to talk to them and, tell them the bad news in person. There's no other way to do it correctly. The next thing is do it fast. The moment that you actually realize this relationship isn't working anymore, we need to break up with this customer, you need to act fast. Don't wait around for weeks. Don't postpone this shit because it's uncomfortable. You have to own it up, man up, and pick up the phone or schedule a meeting and get it over with. The faster, the better. The more you postpone this decision, the more problems, the more dependent they are on you, the more money you've made with them, the more promises were made within your organization. And also the moment that you actually decide as a team, as a company, that this is not a good customer, you'll start deprioritizing them. People will stop really wanting to service them well or build the things that they're requiring. It's just going to create a lot more bad will, a lot more issues and conflicts and challenges before you actually break up with them. No need to do that. Once you decided you need to fire a customer, go ahead and do it immediately. And then last but not least, do it with friendly strength. I know that a lot of people feel really bad about breaking up, and breaking up with a partner or somebody you're dating or seeing is not different than breaking up with a customer. It's a difficult thing. It's a delicate thing to do. It's something that's uncomfortable and something that will probably upset the other side. So we want to avoid it. So when we do it, a lot of times people do it with a lot of weak sauce, right? They'll go in and they'll feel so apologetic. They'll feel so bad about breaking up with somebody that they'll make a really weak pitch. They'll wash it down and they'll say, well, we're thinking about doing this and we're not sure and I know this sucks and I don't know what to do about it. And that weakness will just outrage the other side even more. And a lot of times it will create an environment of abuse. It will actually make the other side start being abusive in their language, maybe in the way they vent at you, and maybe many times make very unreasonable requests and push you to make concessions or agree to certain things that are just stupid, outrageous, and you can't actually deliver. In the worst cases that I've seen, that kind of friendly weakness versus friendly strength will actually, an apologetic kind of approach will actually create an environment where they push you to agree to change your mind. So you'll say, they'll make some arguments and bring up really good reasons why you should keep working with them. And at the end, because you feel so bad about it, you'll go, well, you know what? You made up some really good points. Let me go back to my team and we'll think about it again. And let's see, maybe there's another way. No, fuck that. There's no other way. You made your decision. You stand by it. When you tell them in no uncertain terms. Listen, here's what's happening. I feel really bad about it. It sucks, but it's a reality. We can't service you anymore. We need to find ways to, part ways in a best way possible. We'll give you guys 2 months to transition off. We'll help you, consult you with finding another option. We'll come to your office and help you off board. We'll do anything in our power. But within the next 2 months, you guys need to find another solution. We can't service you anymore. It's not going to work. And this is not a negotiation. Like, you're not negotiating with them. You're telling them. And you need to tell them, friendly but strong, what's going to happen. It might suck, but they're actually going to respect you a lot more for it, and they'll also not waste time trying to negotiate with you or convince you to change your mind. They'll realize, all right, this is real. There's no way around this. How do we move forward now? And that's exactly the kind of energy you want to have, the kind of dynamic you want to have in those conversations. Because let's face it, we're all adults. This is business. And if it's not good for both parties, it doesn't have a future. So it better ends now than ending later. Learning how to win new customers and close new customers is fucking important. It's amazing. It's crucial. It's going to be the core thing that's going to let your business grow. But learning how to actually fire customers can sometimes be even more important to your business and even more crucial as a decision for your growing company to succeed. Because bad and toxic customers and customers that derail you into a completely into a direction that has no future for your business can ultimately kill your business forever.